Welcome. This is Dr. Benzinger on Health with secondopinion.org. Welcome to our coverage of cold and flu. We try to do these videos in somewhat of a short vignette level, 5 to 10 minutes, so that you'll be able to review the symptoms of quickly and be able to go forward and backward as you need to be able to cover these things. If you've not registered for our free newsletter at secondopinion.org or looked at our product line at Physicians Premium, please do. I think you'll find it valuable and useful to you. Cold and flu. Cold symptoms: sore throat, stuffy nose, runny nose, cough, and a mild fever. Keep that in mind, mild fever. Flu symptoms, same as the cold, but affects the lungs deeper and may predispose you to pneumonia or other types of severe conditions. Usually has a higher fever. Remember, 102 is kind of the cutoff. Anything below that, you want your body to at least get to that or close to that to be able to fight off the disease that your body's going through. Above 102, you might have to use other types of care. Flu symptoms also include chills, body aches, or more severe fatigue, comparison to a cold that might give you a little, but usually doesn't always take away your energy level, okay? One of the things I try to pull apart is allergies. Allergies I try to pull apart simply because often we confuse allergies and cold symptoms and then mistreat them or treat them inappropriately, and doesn't help you in the long run. So cold symptoms may actually be seasonal allergies or some item that's related to an allergen or an allergic reaction that you might be suffering from. But usually allergies do not involve a fever or achy feeling or headaches. Okay, so keep that in mind. The longer it lasts, the more likely it is an allergy and should be treated accordingly. Red, itchy eyes also points to allergies, and not a cold, even though you have to remember that it's a possibility that you can have all this plus all the other symptoms and have both on top of each other. But the itchy eyes many times points to the allergy and is something that you probably should then consider treating as an allergy. I wanted to mention that ahead of time. Preventative measures when you have a cold or a flu are the following. Wash your hands frequently, use alcohol-based gel if you can, or just good soap, and scrub, because that's what makes the difference. Cough and sneeze into a tissue, not into your hands, and you wash your hands either way afterwards. No tissue, make sure you turn your head away from others and make sure that that spray doesn't get to them, so you spray, you don't infect other people with it. And if you have to suddenly sneeze, bend your arm forward and sneeze into it, so it doesn't spread as easily either if it just catches you off guard. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. You're reinfesting or reinfecting yourself multiple times. And wash any of the shared surfaces like phones, keyboards frequently. Viruses love to live on these surfaces and may live for several hours, in some cases several days. So frequently cleaning those things, more natural cleaning products, by the way, I recommend. Because the chemicals that sometimes we use to clean with actually continues to keep our immune system down, that makes us sicker, and that's covered in Home Safe Home. Look up that video, you find it to be life-saving. I mean, it's great. Stay away from crowds during the cold and flu season if you can. Okay, that would be a preventative measure. Prevention: when you come to season for colds, sugars drive your immune system down. The more you take in, the lower your immune system. Doesn't it make sense that from about Thanksgiving on to about the third week in January, we get sicker and sicker, and then we get really sick for the winter? What do you think we did to our immune system for Thanksgiving and Christmas? We ate and drank and ate and ate and drank and didn't sleep, and lots of sugar. Everybody's fixing something. What do you think? It kind of makes sense. But during this time, you want to increase your vitamin C as a preventative, 1 to 5 grams, depending on your body size or tolerance. Vitamin C will give you a little loose stool or diarrhea if you're taking too much, so that's an indicator. Zinc, it can be increased during this time above the RDA recommendations as a preventative measure, so keep that in mind. Healthy diet with lots of dark leafy vegetables, lots of fruits and vegetables, cut out the sugar, high amounts of omega-3 fish oils is really helpful, and keep that exercise going. It's very, very helpful. And if you can, lower the stress of life as best as you can during the time when you're mostly susceptible. Hard to say, because it's usually during the highest stress time of the year is when we get our colds. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? or allergy season seems to feed upon it and makes us more susceptible. So managing these things aggressively is the smartest part of it. But when those symptoms start and there's absolutely nothing you can do, you got it, you woke up with it, you know you're coming down with it. Some people can fend it off so it just doesn't grab a hold of them and put them down. Well, here's some of those ways. Zinc, nasal sprays and lozenges, depending on sore throat or the sinus, or both, is a great addition, okay? And during temporary use, you can use quite a bit of this without any side effects. Echinacea, 20 drops every 2 hours until the symptoms go away, seem to help people. I usually tell people to use that about 3 days past symptom to try to ensure that your immune system has done what it needs to do. Vitamin C can be mega dosed to tolerance. Remember, loose stool or diarrhea is the tolerance range. 1 to 8 grams per day. Some people even take more. Okay. I usually tell people to get powdered, powdered with minerals, vitamin C, because you can get larger dose in. It's it's easier on your stomach lining. It doesn't irritate it. So some buffered is something that we carry. I think it's called premium buffered vitamin C, immune support, that we carry at Physicians Premium because it's very helpful. Sip hot fluids, okay, such as chicken or turkey broth from real chicken and real turkey broth, not Campbell's or not a soup place. I'd rather you get it from the raw source if you can and cook it up and drink that broth. I think you're going to get more out of it. Most of the research is based on those, not that which has been canned for however long, because we lose nutritional benefits there. Mild exercise seems to help with a cold, but may slow you if you have a flu. So if you got a cold, mostly up here, not a bad idea. If it's involving the lungs, probably not a good idea. Wash your hands often and flush all the tissues down the toilet. Do not let them around the house. Other people get infected. And lots of water and other fluids. Some of the cold and flu herbals that you can consider, we've already covered. Echinacea really helps the immune system. Golden seal is another. Slippery elm, because it helps the liver. Marshmallow root, eleuthero, Asian ginseng, astragalus, the elderberry, horseradish, milyoon, which, by the way, I like that one a lot because it really helps the sinuses, and so does myrrh. Remember frankincense and myrrh? These two are really great for sinus support, so those I really highly recommend. And by the way, Schisandra, I did overlook that. That's another possibility. Cold and flu homeopathics, if you want to step into them right away, keep them around the house during cold and flu season. I think it's a good idea. Aconite and the Kali chromacom, the Rus toxidendron, and Natrum muricum, as well as Afrasia, is really helpful in these situations. And these are ones that you should just keep at home. Many times you can get them in a single combination and just have them sitting on the counter, because many times they can help you fend off the symptoms of a cold. Remember, nothing cures it. Okay? Analgesics to relieve these aches and pains. So if you're going to need to take or want to take medications, acetaminophen, Tylenol is many times the trade name for it, but you can get it generic. If you have liver problems, this is not the best choice. If you drink a lot of alcohol, this is not the best choice. Aspirin. Young people and children should not take aspirin because of the risk of Reyes disease or syndrome, unless you've noted or documented that there's no side effects from that. So ibuprofen is the most common used. Naproxen is another option, such as Advil. But protect your stomach lining. We know that ibuprofen's hard on your stomach, so you might want to take some type of Tums or a sodium bicarbonate with it, because it does damage the stomach lining every dose to some extent. Not children, but younger and middle-aged adults should be fine with 102 temperature. Remember, that's a really, really, really good thing to try to get to that, because your body's trying to fight the disease. If we're going to use antihistamines, what do? They decrease nasal secretions by blocking histamine. It may be better to let these secretions flow that have the virus in them than to lock them into your body and keep them there. These products often make you drowsy anyhow. So if you want to get over the cold faster, you're probably keeping it in your body by using antihistamines. Okay? Expectorants and antitussives are the next one. They increase the amount of phlegm and decrease its thickness. Guaifenesin is a very safe one, been on the market for a long time, commonly used, and seems to be very safe. Antitussives, they reduce the frequency of a cough. Dextromethorphan is the one that's out there and has been used very frequently. Remember that the body uses the cough to rid itself of the virus that makes it feel bad. So you stop the cough, you stop getting rid of it. Again, something to consider when you're deciding these things. Many times people just don't think, they just do, and that is an issue. Okay? Decongestants. They shrink the nasal blood vessels to relieve swelling. Side effects of these is jitteriness, anxiousness, insomnia, and fatigue. So it's taking them late at night. Sometimes you won't sleep at all. Some experts believe that these ingredients may work against each other. An example, acetaminophen, okay, a pain controller, may increase nasal congestion, okay, which you're trying to get rid of, while decongestants are trying to decrease the nasal congestion. So many times you see all these are just slammed together, and I think that's the recent study that came out of Pennsylvania saying that these things really don't help a whole lot for the cold. They might make you sleep at night, and beyond that, who knows whether they have much value at all, okay? So keep in mind, cold and flu. Cold and flu is something we're all going to suffer from. We frequently suffer from it. And this gives you a little bit of insight from a more conservative alternative option. So work to prevent and not to have to treat. But if you have to treat, there's some of the action steps spelled out for you. Hope that helps. This is Dr. Benzinger on Health with secondopinion.org. We'll look for you next time at secondopinion.org. May God bless you.